Hola, coconut buddies. It's me, Arena Manton, again with sunflower seeds. I found edible sunflower seeds. And yo um, comer y cultivar crisol, me and my garden. And remember to talk to your doctor first. My discoveries may not be for you at all. For new legitimate mothering breastfeeding discoveries, yes, I'm the original discoverer of tipping your head up when a strong blood flow goes to your head as you're breastfeeding. Hope that is going well for you. And nudity can be seen in my um, videos at any time. And so don't watch the videos if you don't like that. I will hopefully do all that at the end. My videos and showing you different techniques that I've seen or I have done myself too. And so today I'll be talking about solar salts, how to use solar salts. Remember I was telling you, I don't know if you've seen the other videos. Hopefully I'm doing them all in order. I wanted to do them in alphabetical order, but that's not going to be the case because my sunflowers are now. So hopefully we can talk about these. See, más o menos color, yo comer aquí. Y salt, tiene agua y comer. Mira. Y tiene, mira, I don't know if you can see that. Oh, it went down. And these are raw. And that's how yo me gusto comer. And I'm going to show you also techniques too. I like to bury them in the ground before the frost. So you can save some of these, dunk them in salt water, and let them dry out. Most plants just need to be dried out. And I bury them. So I figure it's this big, or I figure out how cold it is. You know, with that cold, the cold comes from that direction over there for our climate here in Washington State. And I take the leaves, and as many as I can about so far, you know, and then I bury them in the ground like this, and make them go towards the sun. Or my sun kind of goes that way, but I usually go like this against the sidewalk, and about 4 inches deep from the ground, I bury them like with a rock, if I can. But sometimes I go along this side of the borders to see how much I can grow on each side around the garden there. And they like I said, they like that hot rock. The rock can retain the heat year round, and when the cold traps it, it can also melt the snow very easily. So it's like a drip system for it. Has this getting a nutrients, and then in the after the frost too, they can grow up and start going with the weather, and you should be fine. And then you can separate them. Most sunflowers don't like to be bothered or separated, but you'll just get a cluster. They'll be a little smaller in growth. So separate them if you can, and get them before they flower, because once they start flowering, once plants start to flower, they don't like to be bothered at all of any plants. And only transplant once or twice at the most. Most things don't like to be planted more than twice if you can't bother them. And then when you're transplanting, dig up the soil around it to get some, of the good garden soil, and good food. I like the fish fertilizer, and the good garden soil is a 4-way mix. It has the cow poopy in it. It's good for it. And the solar salts, I will brush it up like this. Here's a bigger plant too. Woohoo! This is not an edible one, but I go from the bottom all the way to the top on the shady side of the plant, so the salts, the slugs don't bother them and the bugs don't bother them. And I'll spritz them too. I'll do a big circle around them with a spritzer too, and because the plants can be bothered by the bugs all over it from the ground up, and even the roots too. So the solar salts are completely, well, water salts completely safe. So just know your edible pesticides and work with those, with any of the specialty market ones too there. And yeah, if it doesn't have a hot rock, like you don't have a wall pot or sidewalk, just, I usually get a rock from, like the ocean or whatever, and you can buy them at the rock stores too, and put them, 4 inches deep with them on this side, and with that seashell, so it domes them, and it'll be a nice radiating of the heat, and let the rock, stick up out of the ground so far, and it'll help radiate that heat, and that seashell will help that rock roll that heat back onto it, and the frost hopefully doesn't get to it and doesn't bother it there. And Olive oil. Olive oil is, it's edible. We humans cook with it. It's one of the first soaps. Italians used to use it. And I use it to wash my hands after I'm gardening and get underneath the nails and, get that out of there, because you don't want rabbit poop, deer poop, or the cat poop for sure in your garden too, of your edible garden. And I don't always have fence. I have that sprinkler system, so if they are feeding the animals, make sure it's on a downhill run so they can have, they can trim the garden nicely. It looks really pretty, and you're giving back to Mother Nature, and they love it. So just know where the poop runs downhill, the old-fashioned saying there. And if you don't like nuts in your diet too, they don't recommend nuts in your diet for breastfeeding because of allergies. There is a powdered peanut butter too, and they are actually finding that it's useful for kids who have peanut allergies. It's helping them go through with their doctor experiments of that there until they're hopefully not allergic to peanuts in your nuts family. So definitely talk to your doctor about that. But I don't, too much is too little and too little is too much. So I always just had a variety of foods and such like that, and drinks. And I noticed it bothered me, like if I was sick or had a headache or a cold or ate too much sugar, definitely it wasn't helping baby, and I could tell right away it wasn't helping baby there. So I will get down to it, and I'll show you how I dunk it in the water, and then I eat them, and then you can store them upside down like so. And sometimes I even go 3 feet or so. That's about 3 feet, and then I cut it, and then I hang them upside down. And they have gotten huge. One was 15 feet tall of my edible, but the squirrels got to it and they let them have fun. And so if you have wildlife, the finer fencing can be useful too. And then one time I used these from the discount stores, the baskets, and I just zip tied them around it as it was still growing and getting its stripes there of my edible ones there. And then, so half of them I let the wildlife eat them there too. So here is this idea here. Where is it there? Yeah, this is my solar salts, and I will just take them just like so whenever. I'll do a handful whenever I'm dunking. Sometimes I go like that around the garden too. Other times I put them in the spritz bottle, or I put them in this a little bowl, mix it around, and then dunk my plant in it, submerge it, the whole thing, so you get a good little soak there. And then I just shake it off and then hang them upside down, or I start eating them raw. And that's all the starch shouldn't bother you. So if not, just dunk it. Have 2 bowls, 1 salt, 1 fresh water, and just rinse it off, and then you can store them and eat them just like that there too. And like I said, with this too, you see the salts there. So put some salts in there, and you can use this water just like this. You can go like this with the plants and get the shady side. If not, just spritz around too. If you don't have a spritzer, go like this on the shady side of your plants, and then here too. Just every few feet, you can to prevent the slugs and the bugs from getting to them there too. So, and like I was telling you, with burying the plant too, I get a couple of the leaves, it's a good 6 months, so about 6 leaves, it goes to the frosting from September 15th, I'll bury them. And with other plants too, don't be discouraged on gardening, because you can get a lot of discount goodies from the discount shelves, garage sales, thrift stores of gardening techniques and stuff like that, and start a root vegetable garden for the frost. A lot of plants will make it through the winter, just like with the solar salts. Put them all around the plant, because I had carrots. I pulled up the carrots, and half the carrot was pretty on the shady side that I did the solar salts on, but the other half of carrot was nothing. So I'll show you a couple techniques like this one, and so I'll bury them so. so it doesn't get any stem wear, any mold or mildew. So if you have mold and mildew on like the pumpkin family, the gourd family has, it gets like a mold on top too. Throw it away. Don't put it back in your garden where others still they'll put the leaves. You can take the leaves and go like that, and a lot of your leaves are helpful for the garden there. And just, you can bury this too. I buried a whole stick in the ground. Couldn't find it the next month, so the bugs were busy. So I think it was towards the frost too. So just break them up, or you can put them down and mow over them, and then put them into the garden, and they'll be it'll feed the garden too, because like a lot of the stem wear, this has got calcium in it, so you want it in the garden, and just bury it, you know, with the plant there too. So you can find this little spot here too. Just bury it completely, because you don't want anything sticking out of the ground and have the mildew rotting it too. And with transplanting, a lot of sunflowers don't like to be transplanted, but just get a good chunk of it. My dad would always transplant just about anything. So one thing said no, it seemed to work when you go with Mother Nature. Just pampered it for 2 days, any kind of transplanting, store bought or your own gardening. So get a good chunk, and then pour in water, stir up the soil, and then pack it down good with your garden soil and everything you need to go with what the nurseries will tell you. Anything that you need, extra vitamins, nutrients, any garden soil, 4-way, 5-way, whatever you need for your soil. If you have too soft or too hard soil, and but a lot of things you can just put in the garden of your table scraps, and like if you'd have meats or raw meats, I put the solar salts in there. I'll dig a hole, put the solar salts down, bury it, put some more solar salts down, and then water it. Bury it, salt it and water it, and bury it some more, and salt it and water it again. And then I put a cardboard on it, and then I put a flower pot on top of it, because the worms will come and help disperse it, because the worms don't like it where there's hot, so the cardboard kind of shades it and cools the ground for them there. And I was going to tell you, water it when you're transplanting the sunflower. So mix it up, add some water in your all your garden soil. I already had the garden soil 4-way mix in here already, and just watch it for 2 days for sure, and then continue on with your watering spots, and know what you want watered and what doesn't need to be watered. So have different sections. Like I said, I like my seed starts right outside this one front window, because in the wintertime you're not always outside, for longer periods of time that you would in the summertime. So seedlings and my bulb family is in one section, but I end up mixing them all up and don't even know which way I'm going, and I'm surprised I found my edible sunflowers, the only one. Yay. So here's a water, about as much as the hole is. I put that much water and then bury it. And then back down. And then I pat it down and stuff like that there too. So, and that's that. And olive oil to wash my hands. See how dirty pretty they are? You can put it on before or after you are using the water. But see how it's grabbing it? It'll grab the dirt, and you can just dunk in. I usually like to go like that because I don't want to get it all dirty. But I have extra on here, so it's not coming off exactly as planned. But you get the idea. It comes off pretty good. Yeah. See how it's chunking up there. So, good rub. And then, answer's not too far away in nature. Look at that. You got leaves. I'll even use the leaves too whenever I am cleaning a plant too. So like if the carrots have their dirt on them too, I'll just take the carrot stems before, during, after, even if, you know, I bring them in the house too, because as you notice, the soil doesn't completely come off like the root vegetables and such like that. And I definitely peel them. If you have your root vegetables, you grow your own root vegetables because of the wildlife. And if they're chomping at your food, don't eat after the wildlife. You know, if you're going to feed them, you have a certain section fenced off for you. That is your edibles there. And that is pretty much it for the gardening there. And then, yeah, just clean up so you are ready for baby and enjoy your gardening.